When Ava, a junior gallery assistant, receives a cryptic card from reclusive billionaire Dominic Blackwood, she enters a world of glamour, danger, and irresistible temptation. Behind the glittering lights of a high-rise gala lies a private gallery, a secret staircase, and a ruby necklace with a chilling past. As sparks ignite and hidden truths begin to surface, Ava must decide. Is she just a guest in Dominic's twisted world, or the key to unraveling it all? Subscribe for more interesting and top stories. The rain fell in lazy streaks against the high-rise windows as Ava adjusted the hem of her sleek black dress. It wasn't her usual look, too polished, too expensive, but then again tonight wasn't a usual night. She stood in the grand marble lobby of Blackwood Tower, a place she'd only seen in magazines and tabloids, now waiting to attend a private charity gala hosted by the mysterious billionaire, Dominic Blackwood. Everything about him fascinated her. The way he avoided the cameras, the whispers that followed his name, the empire he built from the shadows. He rarely made public appearances, and yet tonight, he'd sent her a personal invitation. She still didn't understand why. A junior gallery assistant from Brooklyn didn't belong in this world. But the envelope had arrived with her name on it. No return address. Just a single card. Red dress or black. Come alone. D. The elevator opened to the penthouse, revealing a ballroom unlike anything she had ever imagined. Chandeliers hung like falling stars from the ceiling, casting a golden glow across champagne flutes and murmuring guests. Everyone looked expensive. Pearls, tuxedos, silk smiles. She felt like an outsider. Until she saw him. Dominic stood at the far end of the room, tall, confident, sculpted in charcoal and mystery. His eyes locked on hers across the crowd, and in that instant, Ava forgot the city, the noise, her doubt. Something unspoken passed between them, a silent challenge, a secret she hadn't yet been told. He moved toward her slowly, with the kind of confidence that made people part without question. When he reached her, his voice was low and smooth. "You came. You invited me. That doesn't always work," he said, eyes flickering with something unreadable. "Why me?" she asked before she could stop herself. He smiled just enough to suggest danger. "Because I think you're the kind of woman who doesn't just ask questions. You find answers." They danced, close, slow, with a rhythm that felt older than the music. Ava could feel the heat of his breath near her ear, the light touch of his hand at the small of her back. Every moment with him felt rehearsed and improvised all at once, like he already knew how the night would unfold. Later, after too much wine and just enough mystery, he whispered, "Would you like to see something the rest of them won't?" Ava hesitated. What kind of something? He didn't answer. Instead, he offered his hand. She took it. They moved through a hidden hallway behind a velvet curtain, past staff who bowed without question. She caught glimpses of darkened halls and locked doors. Finally, he paused before a panel of carved wood, touched a sensor she couldn't see, and a quiet click echoed. Inside, the room was dim, lit only by a soft amber glow. Walls of books lined the space, floor to ceiling, but this was no ordinary library. Intermixed among the volumes were sculptures, some sensual, others unnerving. The art was provocative, private. There were velvet armchairs, an old record player spinning jazz, and the scent of something rich and smoky. Cedarwood, maybe, or something more dangerous. "This is my private gallery," he said. "It's not on the building's plans," she murmured. "It's not on any plans." She moved toward a sculpture, a pair of hands, tangled, carved so delicately it looked as if they might move. Dominic watched her carefully, as if waiting for a reaction. "Everything in here tells a story," he said. "But not all of them are finished." Ava turned, drawn closer to him. "Is that what I am? A story waiting to be told?" He stepped into her space. "No. You're the plot twist." His words sent a thrill through her. Part warning, part invitation. Her pulse quickened as she felt his fingers gently lift a strand of hair from her collarbone. There was nothing crude in his touch, only anticipation, like he was reading a map she didn't know was written on her skin. Their lips met with quiet urgency, a moment suspended between curiosity and hunger. His kiss was slow, confident, the kind that dared you not to fall. She felt herself melting into him, her hands against the crisp fabric of his shirt, the world outside disappearing. But just as suddenly he pulled away. "You should know," he said, voice rougher now, "that this room holds more than just art." He walked to a corner of the room and pressed a hidden panel. A section of the bookshelf slid open to reveal a staircase spiraling downward into shadow. "Most people aren't brave enough to go down there." She hesitated. "And you think I am?" "I know you are." The steps creaked beneath her heels as she descended, each one taking her deeper into a mystery she hadn't agreed to, but couldn't resist. At the bottom was another room, colder, lit by a soft red glow. The walls were lined with mirrors, creating infinite reflections of her stunned face. In the center, a pedestal held a small velvet box. Ava looked back at Dominic. "Open it," he said. Inside the box was a necklace, ruby red, shaped like a teardrop. It shimmered like it held its own fire. "It belonged to my mother," he said. "She wore it the night she disappeared." Ava's breath caught. "You think she was taken?" "I think," he said carefully, "that someone wanted her silence." The heat between them simmered now beneath a different kind of tension, not just attraction but danger. "I've been searching for the truth for years," he said. "Everyone thinks she drowned. But this room, this necklace, there's more. And you." He stopped himself, emotion tightening his jaw. "Why me, Dominic?" He stepped closer again, slower this time. "Because you look at the world like nothing is what it seems. I need that. I need you." The red light shimmered against his face, casting half his expression in shadow. Ava knew she should run, ask more questions, protect herself. But instead she stepped closer. Her fingers traced the edge of the necklace. Then she lifted it gently, letting it rest against her collarbone. "Looks better on you than I remembered," he whispered. They stood there in silence, the air between them thick with more than just lust. There was trust forming, brittle and uncertain. And something else, a connection that went beyond attraction. A story neither of them had fully written yet. Upstairs, the party roared on. But down here, it was only them, secrets, and a desire neither could fully explain.